Hey everybody, this is Chris from Highland CCG. Today we have something special. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, this is Chris. Just flew in from Vegas, and boy are my arms tired. No, but yeah, I had a terrible flight. I got to the airport I was supposed to land in. There were storms. We got diverted to another city. Had to sit there while they got more fuel, wait for my airport to say it was okay to come. Then they flew back. Yeah, all told, took like an extra 4 hours, and I was supposed to get back at 10 p.m. So yeah, like 2 a.m. or something like that. So pretty groggy, but yeah, went to Magiccon Vegas. It was awesome. I guess I'm not a natural at this content creation thing, so I didn't walk around and do a bunch of videos and stuff, which I did. I saw some other people do it. I appreciate that they did it. They also found stuff that I even missed because the place was so big. There was so much going on. It was really cool. I did not see the giant Shivan dragon statue. I didn't see that donut that you could like reach into its mouth and pull out a prize or something. So yeah, there was a ton of stuff going on. But I thought I would share kind of my experience. You know, I have some visuals I can share. Wanted to talk about some of the stuff I picked up and why. I guess to get started, what was I reading on the plane? I was reading Philip K. Dick, Time Out of Joint. I'm about halfway done. It is quite good. So yeah, reading that on the plane. We got in Thursday night, hung out for a while, and then headed over to the convention center Friday morning, around 11 or so. Not like right when it opened, but went over there, got our merch. I ordered a t-shirt. The lines were short to get everything. That was great. Then we headed around, just did like a lap to kind of see everything. So a lot of vendors, a lot of downstairs. There were like good spaces to play. They had like a command zone. They also had just a free play area. So free play area is where I spent a lot of time just after doing what I needed to do. Just played some games and had fun. I brought my Rook Egg deck and my Candle Flare deck and my Armageddon Clock deck. I didn't get to play the Armageddon Clock deck though, unfortunately, but had a blast with the other ones. Yeah, so then looked around at some of the vendors, seeing what they had, but there was so much cool stuff. I saw some things I will never see again, like just some crazy stuff. And the first day I tried to just get as many of my cards signed as I could, and get kind of most of my waiting in line done. So we can go into that first. So there were a lot of artists there, and a decent amount of old school artists who are the ones I'm most interested in. And there were two surprises to me. I think that they were listed as appearing, but they were in a different section of the website. Like they were under merchants. So Brian Wackwitz, who you might know from Living Plain. I wanted to get him to sign Barbary Apes, but I couldn't find Barbary Apes. My friend accidentally brought 2 Living Plains with him. He thought he took them out of his deck, but they were there, so he was able to get those signed. So good on you. And then Margaret Organ-Keane, most notably, I think, for the Ivory Tower. That was one of my mini missions. Was I needed to find an Ivory Tower for her to sign, and that was difficult. I did not find one. I was at like very close to having looked at every booth, and I finally found one and I grabbed it. So that's this. So I got that signed, which is very good. And I paid $20, which is definitely an overpay because it's got a chip right there. But I needed to get it signed, so and it's not, it's $20. It's not gonna break the bank or anything. Yeah, I'll just kind of go through each pile. We can talk about those. So, well, first we'll do like the promos. So yeah, so for coming to the event, you got these two. I had a weekend, just a regular weekend pass. So I got the etched foil Lotus Petal, which is very cool, and then this foil Arcane Signet. And then the one I did get was if you took a picture in front of the TARDIS, which they had a mock-up of a TARDIS, then you got this card, which is cool. So foil, it looks like a halo foil, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it looks pretty cool. Yeah, it reminds me of like the Halo foil treatment from March of Machines. And then this was Cyclonic Rift. I wanted to get this signed by Chris Ram, but like his line was super long the entire time. Every single time I went and checked, and I checked probably like 8 or 9 times. That remains unsigned. Maybe another day. Let's see what we have here. This is probably, yeah. So this is Jeff Maricola. I just got a couple things signed, a few things signed by him. Frantic Search from Urza's Legacy, and Propaganda from Tempest, and of course Bouncing Beebles, one of the best cards ever from Urza's Legacy. I love bringing out Bouncing Beebles. Yeah, so these are more like, I would put them in a commander deck, because I do play some commander and I have, you know, some modern cards too, so that was pretty cool. And then this is, oh yeah, this is Richard Kane Ferguson. So that was neat. I didn't have anything signed by him, so I brought a bunch. I think the only legendary guy I didn't bring was his Azon, just because I only have one, and it was, you know, it's a very expensive card. I wasn't gonna like impulse buy another one. But this card's special to me because it was given to me by my friend a long time ago. Haven't seen him in ages, so it's just nostalgic for me to see this, and it was cool to get it signed. But yeah, I have Arcane Denial here from Alliances. I have the 2 different arts. And then I have Medallion Soldiers from Fallen Empires, Ramses, Dakin Blackblade. I always say Backblade because he's got his blade on his back, but Blackblade. And of course Nebuchadnezzar, Riven Turnbull, Casimir the Lone Wolf, Solkanar, and a new card. This is a Modern Horizons 2 Profane Tutor. So wanted to get that as well. That was pretty cool. Cool to meet him. He's a nice guy. Yeah, add these to the, a lot of these I'll just be playing with, but add the rest to the sign binder, which I should do a video on one of these days. Let's see, who's this? This is Anson. Okay. Oh, and I committed another faux pas that I didn't wait long enough for the ink to dry, and so these are kind of like some of the ink peeled off onto sleeves that they were in, so I had to throw out all the sleeves. Luckily it only affected kind of the lower value, like these CE cards, for example. Like these are some CE Playgrats. I got a play set of those, and you know, it's fine. These aren't like super valuable things that I would ever really probably sell. It's just things for decks, so it's okay, you know. But after that I was much more cautious with the signatures and made sure that I waited like, you know, a good several minutes, let them dry, and then put them in the sleeves. But we got a playset of Playgrats, got the Animate Dead, gotta get a Send Your Vampire. Here's a Beta Disintegrate. Luckily that one I didn't have signed in the gold, so I didn't have that issue. And then this is just a fun card. This is like from a tournament that we did at Timmy Talks, and he signed his name here along with the other folks who were in my tournament group, so that's just a cool thing to have in there. And I got another one signed because Pyrotechnics. And of course some big stuff. So I brought some pretty heavy hitters for each of these artists to sign because I was going to be in person. I didn't have to send them in the mail, which I was a little nervous about. You just sign it and gave it right back, so I felt comfortable with that. So things like Serendipity, Transmute Artifact is another big one, obviously. Happy to have that signed. And here's the Drop of Honey. This is the only gold one that didn't get messed up, which was great. If any of them were gonna, you know, make it, I wanted it to be this one, obviously. So very cool. Obviously very well worn copies, because these are, for me, you know, the signed ones are meant to be played with for me. I collect these just to play with and enjoy. I'm good with like having kind of my worst condition one be the one. Yep, so we can then go to, this is probably, the biggest pile's gotta be Mark Poole because I had him sign a ton of islands again. I have so many islands signed, but I have so many decks with blue in it, so. But I was really happy they came out with these new Dominaria Remastered islands. So I had him sign 10, I think, which was a lot of restraint. I was originally gonna bring 20, but you know, that adds up. And then here's a CE, I think. Yep, CE, island, and then I have 3 betas that I was surprised that the betas hadn't already been signed, but had to make sure those are signed. Then the towers, so I got all 4 towers. I actually had all 4 of these signed with the black, just the black, and then I got Anson to shadow sign them, his mines, and then so I was like, oh, after I had already gotten these signed, so I was like, oh, I gotta get these shadow signed too, so he just like went over it in gold, so now they are shadow signed. Counterspell, of course, Crusade, and Balance. And then my big boys, I have 2 really big cards from him, which would be Ali from Cairo, and most exciting is my library. So this goes in, you know, most of my decks. It's really beat up, really beat up, so I'm comfortable playing with it, and now finally got that signature, so very cool. I guess I'll just spread out some of the cooler ones. Make some room here. There we go. But yeah, like day one for me was mostly waiting in line for signatures. I think here we'll put Dak in. Yeah, we got to put Nebby and Solkanar. And it's just fun. It's fun to meet the artists. They're super nice people. It's a real pleasure. And just, you know, to share the gratitude that I have for what they, you know, this work. Like these pictures are a big part of what made Magic so compelling in the beginning, and made us really captivated and wanted to learn more and wanted to try it. You know, you saw somebody playing with these beautiful cards, and it's what you know, drew us to it. So they deserve all the praise. So I'm really happy to get to meet some of them and tell them thank you. All right, so we have Douglas Schuler and Mark Teeden left. So okay, Mark Teeden. I'll save Mark for last because I have this also I want to share. So let's go with Douglas Schuler. So we have, of course, some Psionic Blasts for decks. These are the time-shifted ones with the original art. And we have River Merfolk from Fallen Empires. Some Mountains, of course. I was really hoping Jesper would be there so I could get some more planes signed, but alas. So we've got some CE here, and then a couple betas. Northern Paladin, one of the big cards back in the day. You know, get rid of the Sengier, get rid of the Hippie, get rid of the Royal Assassin, and then Force of Nature, another legacy, like huge card. Everybody loved this card, everybody wanted this card. Hippie, because you can't have enough of those. Same with Demonic Tutors. A nice Shadow Sign CE1. And then we have a Trike. And another big card, the Candelabra. Another super well worn and loved card. It needed to get one of those signed. And then last but not least, Mark Teeden. And City of Brass reprint. This is Chronicles, I guess. Got some Soul Rings revised. This was the same deal where I had gotten these signed in black and then wanted to go back and get them shadow signed, so he obliged me there with the Urza power plants. I already had the column, so I didn't need that. This one wasn't signed at all, so I did get that one shadow signed. Then we've got a Beta Fireball. This was another one that I had signed in black, so he went over that and signed it as a shadow. Mana Drain, it's a big card. Jam Days Tome, my favorite, Brain Geyser. I'm gonna put it there anyway. I know it's not, $1 million card or anything, but here's speaking of big cards, Chaos Orb. This is I think CE or IE. This is IE. And Time Vault, another huge card. And speaking of time, Time Twister. This is an IE as well. So yeah, tried to bring, like I said, some pretty big stuff that I wouldn't want to send in the mail. Get that signed. Yeah, it was great. This is a lot of stuff that I've had wanted to get signed for years. Was able to accomplish that goal. Isn't this cool? I got this at one of the booths, and yeah, luckily it's a D ring, so I would have been disappointed if it was an O ring. But isn't that awesome? Just like a nice old thing. Definitely not in perfect shape. It's got some blemishes here, but very cool. I'm not sure what year this is. This is 1996. So pretty close to the beginning there. And we've got, Force of Will, Spirit Link, Sarah Angel. What is this guy? He's an Ice Age worm, I think. Scaled worm or something. And of course the face of Magic, the Hurloon Minotaur. Oh, I should have gotten Anson to sign that. And Doug Schuler. Oops. Missed opportunity. Well, next time. But yeah, this was just a neat pickup. It wasn't expensive or anything. It was just fun. Just a fun vintage thing. I love the empty boxes and all that stuff. So just fun to get this. The thing that blew my mind here. This is, and they did a good job packing it. Let me make room. There. This is one of the coolest things I've seen ever. So it's signed, and it is this acrylic Brain Geyser art. So I think I saw this and it blew my mind. Quite literally, it was just fantastic. I was so psyched to see this thing, and yeah, it was the only one he brought because he didn't think anybody wanted it, which he couldn't be farther from the truth. I think a lot of people love Brain Geyser. Definitely I wanted it, so I'm super glad he brought it. As soon as I saw it, I just gasped and I grabbed it off of the table so that no one else would. But wow, look at that. That is so cool. Yeah, I need to figure out some kind of a lighting I can do to really make it pop when I display it, but it's gonna look fantastic. So there's that. So that was like the bulk of the first day, was just getting the signatures and then looking at stuff at the vendors just to get a sense of what people had. Was there anything notable? Oh, these are fun pickups. I got from Cool Stuff Inc. I got some stickers. I couldn't find all 5 of the boxes, but I got these 3. And then just one that made me laugh, because we've all been there. My tummy hurts and my hand is bad. I thought that was great. So Yeah, and then day 2 was definitely much more like shopping around, trying to see what else, is there anything else we missed? And my friend got 2 super cool cards. I'll put up the picture, or future Chris will put up the pictures. So he got a Preacher signed by Quentin Hoover. This was one of the coolest booths. They had an entire cabinet for signed cards, which you don't really see. They also had an entire cabinet for misprints. So it was a really cool selection that they had. Obviously, I like signed cards. My friend likes signed card. He has a signed card cube that he's building. But he was able to find the Preacher signed by Quentin Hoover, which, if you don't know, is a big deal. It's really hard to find. So he jumped on that. He also got the Fire Drake signed by Chris Rush. Again, not easy to find. Definitely not as hard as the Preacher, but difficult nonetheless. And then what I thought was the coolest thing, he got an altered Ollie. So the background was altered. Well, you'll see it too, but it had one of Mark Poole's old signatures, like a 90s signature. It also had his new signature, and then Mark Poole was nice enough to sign it the way that he signs the paintings, just like the pool. So now it has 3 Mark Poole signatures on it, which is pretty neat, I think, and makes it obviously a more powerful card. So, probably instead of going to 1 life, you go to like 4 life, I would say. I think that's fair. And then he also picked up a Alpha Orcish Artillery, which is notable because it has the misprint of only 1 red and 1 other, and he got that signed by Anson Maddox, which was really cool. So yeah, he got some really cool stuff. As for me, day 2, I finally found what I was looking for, and at a good price, in a good condition, and so I just went for it. And so that is that Unlimited Mox Ruby. It's, if you want it, like, stingy grader would probably put this as like somewhere like LP minus to MP plus, I think. It's pretty darn clean. There's a little bit on the edges, but just looking at it, the centering is pretty nice. Not, it's a little up, but overall just good eye appeal, I think. And yeah, nothing huge in terms of the defects. And it was under 3,000, which is what I was hoping for. I wanted something under 3,000 that looked really pretty. Very glad to have this in the collection. So that was like kind of the coup of that day, and we saw 2 cards that really stood out. Obviously there's a lot of really cool stuff, but I would say the 2 coolest cards were, we saw a crimped Library of Alexandria. So for like anybody who's interested in misprints, that is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen another, other people might have, but I've never seen another crimped Arabian Nights card. I've seen plenty Legends and some dark stuff, but yeah, so the whole bottom was crimped. I tracked down a picture of it on Reddit. I'll link to that Reddit post, and full credit to the photographer, but I didn't take a picture of it at the time. So the person who posted in Reddit is the person who sold it to the person that I met. I met him in line. He was getting it signed by Mark Poole. That blew my mind. That's one of those cards you will never see again in your life. I'm never gonna see a crimped low again. And then the other card that was amazing was an Alpha Lotus signed and altered by Richard Garfield. So if you're unfamiliar with Richard Garfield's alters is like, as the creator of the game, he has the ability to change the wording of a card and it becomes how that card is played. So, or if you're following me, he can cross out words, write a new word, whatever it is in the text that describes how this card works, and now it works the way that he changed it. So I'll throw up some examples that I was able to come across. But we found an alpha lotus that he had done this to, and it's got to be the most powerful lotus in the game because he crossed out the discarded part. So no longer do you tap it, get 3 mana of any color, and then discard it. You just tap it for 3 mana of any color. So it's effectively like a triple mox. So that's unreal, and he made that change, so that's real. That's how that card works now. So best Lotus in the game as far as I'm concerned. I couldn't find a picture of that one. I did find an example where he crossed out the one, so it was like of any one color, and he just crossed out one, so it became of any color. So he could, then you can mix and match which mana you want. So that was like, yeah, that's pretty good, but nothing compares to that one that I saw. And that's another card I'll never see that again. Yeah, lots of neat stuff. I would say the one disappointing thing was that we didn't find other people to play old school Magic with, and it's part of it's like my fault. I should have just brought like a piece of oak tag and wrote old school on it and put it on the table, and that might have attracted some people. But yeah, so it was really just me and my friend playing when we were kind of resting from all the walking. Had a blast. Yeah, every vendor was very nice, very helpful, and it was cool to have conversation with them. All the people that we met waiting in line to get cards signed. It was just a really, really pleasant experience. A lot of cool people, a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of fun. But by the end of day 2, I had gotten all my autographs. I had picked this up, which was my goal. I got this, which I never expected I would have. That was just like a total surprise that thing even existed. So by the end of day 2, I was pretty much done. So we played Magic for a while, and then headed back to the hotel, and just had some dinner. Yeah, I played some roulette. That was fun. And then Sunday didn't bother going back to the convention center because, like I said, kind of done, did everything we needed to. Oh, and I'll say I met Anson Maddox and Brenda, and they were super nice. As soon as I mentioned Jurgen from Nerd and Proud of It, they were like so happy. They obviously really like you, Jurgen. So, and yeah, they were super friendly and nice to talk to, and had a good conversation with them. And it's obvious, like you make a good big difference in people's lives. We all really like you and appreciate your content and just you as a person. So it speaks volumes when everybody that we mention we mention your name, everybody lights up. That speaks a lot to who you are. So shout out to Jurgen, and shout out to Anson and Brenda for being so cool. My overall impression was like I was really happy to see so many people still so excited about Magic, and the vast majority of them, are not like me, just like focused on this old stuff. Like most people, 80-90% of people are like loving the new stuff and excited to open packs and play and draft, and that's very comforting to me because I love this game and I want it to persist, and for it to persist you need that energy and you need people to be excited about new stuff. New artists, new content creators, and there was a baby in a onesie that got signed by all the artists. So somebody, I guess mom, brought the baby and brought the baby around to all the artist booths, and the artists signed the onesie. Thankfully they didn't sign the baby. When I first heard about this, I was like, oh my god, are they signing is this like Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights, like signing the baby. But no, thankfully it was just signing the onesie. And I finally did see the baby after a while, and I was like, okay, thank God they're signing the onesie. All right. So that was pretty interesting. So happy I went. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good food. I had a great time. Thanks for watching. This is a super long video. I've never made a video this long, but it was a lot of weekend, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of activity, a lot of pickups and cool stuff. So thank you again for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.